and welcome to Coffee Talk, number 459 live stream. It is right at 7 p.m. Central Time. It's June the 28th, 2025. And you're with me for another edition of Coffee Talk. Oops. That was a good. Always have the volume turned down. Oh, Lord. Ugh. Situation normal. Oh, dear God. Gotta be able to laugh. KP Heathen, my friend. How's it going in Louisiana? Nice and hot and wet, I would assume. That was a big catfish your kid caught. Big size catfish. Well, I finally did the 100 subscriber giveaway and got that all out and done. And it is cooking roast to make roast beef sandwiches. Sounds wonderfully delicious. Sounds delicious. I truly hope it comes out wonderfully delicious for you. You deserve to have wonderful food. So I got the 100 subscriber giveaway, got that one out, and I've been responding to the people who've been making comments on it. I got the box ready. KP will what was saying? Enrique will get that box hopefully sometimes this week. He lives in South Texas, and hopefully he'll get that box sometimes later in the week. Uncle Al, thy bullfrog 79, how are you doing? Uncle Al, that was an optical illusion. Talk about courtesy again. I always like to talk about courtesy. First thing I do when I come into somebody's live stream or, I watch a video, I leave a comment, supportive comment, and I always leave a like. A lot of times I just basically say like number, tell them what like number it is, and do a thumbs up. But I always do something positive. And I have a thing about people who come into my stream and they never leave a like. They'll never leave a like. They have never left a like. And most people do. I mean, the people who come into my stream on a regular basis, and there's 18 or 20 of them that consistently come in pretty much, they all leave likes. So when you get one that can never, and I beg for these likes from I've told that person, I've been to their stuff and I always leave a like. Well, they don't leave a like. I've had 2 or 3 different people tell me they just for whatever reason they don't leave likes. Okay, well, they don't need to be on my stream. Not wanting to be disrespectful to anybody. Enrique, the man of the hour, how's it going? I'm sorry you have a headache. My wife has been feeling bad all day, and she has been laying down, and she's been taking medication for it. She's been nauseous. I said, the kid gave you something. She was over here a couple of days ago, and she said, well, I haven't seen her. No, but it takes some time for that stuff to incubate. So I'm pretty sure the kid probably, because she's around a lot of other people, Right now, I'm not around hardly anybody because of I'm on vacation. So I'm pretty sure it was the kid that gave her whatever she has. I told her, I said, you take you to an urgent care clinic. It's the weekend, So I don't have a problem doing that. 107 Fahrenheit. Woo! Mr. Whistle, how are you doing? In food, forest, permaculture. Hello, Howie. Welcome, gentlemen. Everybody in the chat right now. Well, a lady just came in. Nope, two of them. Everybody in the chat up to that point were basically gentlemen. Idaho Garden Girl, and Melinda Elliott. How are you doing? How's the weather where you're at, Howie? Harvesting garlic. Sounds good. Sounds good. Cold and windy. Wow. 5 watching and 9 likes. 6, 7 watching. Well, I tell you, Uncle Al always says try to do a unboxing or a mail call. Mail call. It's a mail call. Mail call from Amazon. Amazon Cold. It's one of the new ones. I'm gonna open her up. It is an emergency stove. Uses tabs. From Amazon. Well, I'm glad you're doing really good. So I shocked Uncle Al. He says, 2 videos in one day? Well, I already had the one that I just released on the backpack. I already had that already all loaded up. All I had to do was the description. And if you look at it, I did a lot of shout outs to really good channels. And if you're not friends with all those channels, I would encourage you to approach them, and I'm sure that they'll reciprocate. Good channels. Kayla Boo. Hello, young lady. Thank you for coming. Feel free to drop your link, but everybody in here's got a blue wrench. So I would think if anybody's not friends, you can always just click on them and go to them. I encourage you to reach out. That way you grow together. I watched one of Melinda's driving videos here maybe yesterday. And I always enjoy driving videos. She does some really nice driving videos. It takes her about 20 minutes to get to work, and she usually has a daughter who chauffeurs her. My wife and my kid do not let me drive. I mean, if we ever go out, I have to ride shotgun. They're one of them is driving. I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. Just the way things are. Well, so I have the video of the backpack and the contents out. And that's what I gave my son-in-law. He sent me a text thanking me. I said, well, told my daughter, sometimes in the next week or so, one evening, I need to get together with him for about an hour and go through it and set it up and figure out if there's some stuff that needs to go in it further. I included all the boxes and everything. All that stuff needs need to come out. I'd cut out the directions or the information, save them, and put them in like a Ziploc baggie in it, and that way you got more room. And I didn't put any food in it. I really did not put any food in it. I put some coffee sticks and some carnation creamers and some Splenda in it, enough for like 14 coffees. You know, so that would save you. You know, that would get you through as far as making a beverage. If you know, heat water. And then I did include a sterno stove and some canned heat, you know, to that and matches. Yeah, a sippy cup is something I did not put in. I've got some. I could take this over. Well, you know, this is my personal, you know, that I use, Stanley. This one is a 1 liter capacity stainless steel. Yeah, I can pull it out and show you. Let me get the bloody thing out of the box. Brand new, never been used. Cup. Now you can actually boil water, heat coffee in this. Then you got this one. And you got a lid. So you'll need something like this. I still need to. I haven't really spent any quality time with them, and usually my daughter's around to make sure that we both behave. You know. I haven't taken him behind the barn or anything and had a, you know, heart-to-heart talk with him. Yeah, it's a nice setup. It is a nice setup. Please leave a like to support the channel, be greatly appreciated. Hello, Little Lone Prepper, how are you doing? So I shouted out 40 good channels, 40 supporters in my camping bag video. I listed 40 good channels, and I could list another 40, but those are 40. And when I did my 100 subscriber giveaway, I basically shouted out the 20 channels that were on my that had commented on my last video, and then there were 6 that were in the drawing that had basically left comments on each of the last 5. There were, there were more that did like 3 or did like 4, but only 6 that did, all 5. So Enrique was amazed that he had won, because he's been in these things for a while and he's never won. And he said, "You mean to tell me that your finger pulled my name out of a hat?" Yes, it did, and I did the video to prove it. I showed it. What's next? Emergency bag for the grandkid. I have no grandchildren, but I mean, eventually, yeah. It's like I have a pretty good firearms collection, and eventually somebody will be acquiring some good weapons, so I mean, I'm sure that could be the kid, her husband, the grandkids, that kind of stuff. And part-time planting. Hello, Peter. Like most of the channels that are in here right now, I don't know if I included Howie, or Caleb Boo. I don't think I included Caleb Boo, but most of the channels that are in here right now that I have listed were in those 40. In Spanish, Enrique, that would be La Cuarenta. The 40. 40 good channels. And the ones that are creators, of those channels, I really need to show them some love, and some of them I show more than others, and it's just, there's only one of me, and I just don't do this constantly. Yes, my other daughter, who's down in the valley close to you, she lives in San Benito. She's due in September. She's going to have one, and I haven't been told. Apparently, this next visit, which is coming up, they'll figure out when they do the sonogram what sex the baby is. Have you watched that? Have you watched the 100 subscriber giveaway yet, Enrique? There's a funny one in there. I had a little fun at your expense. I referred to you, Dad's advice for you. I referred to you as the mansplaining channel. Dad's advice for you, the mansplaining channel. Oh Lord, the feminists really hate that. Oh man, 9 watching and 12 likes. Thank you, Uncle Al. Well, I tell you what, Uncle Al had given me a topic, and I have never turned down a topic that Uncle Al gave me. But I really thought about that one because there was a lot of F-bombs in there. And then he apologized, when he sent it, he apologized about the F-bombs. So today, the topic's going to be a little bit different. This is a topic that he had given me in the past, and I had done this like months ago. So I thought this would be a good one because he likes to talk about what's in your pocket. So I thought, well, let's just avoid the cussing today and the profanity, because he was having a moment. He was having a moment. He was dropping a lot of F-bombs. So today's topic is going to be the things you carry in your pocket. Things you carry in your pocket. I got 10 things that you carry in your pocket. We can add to them. We can, but I wanted to go over that 10 things you carry in your pocket. Hopefully you'll like it. So snacks, a snack, protein bars, a bag of peanuts, You know, something, something to eat, a snack. And of course, a water bottle. Water bottle, snack. A cutting tool. Like a pocket knife, folding knife, or a multi-tool, or maybe both. Yeah, keys, wallet, loose change. I'd carry money. But I'm married, I understand. I every time I go by the bank, and I bank primarily at Walmart. They've got First National, and they're open on Saturdays. So I used to be open 7 days a week, but they started closing on Sunday. But anyway, I would go, and I if I don't have them in my pocket, I'll go get 21s. I'll ask for 21s, and then I periodically will ask for 2 rolls of quarters. Gave my wife quarters because she needs them. Give my daughter quarters. Give my daughter ones. Give my wife ones. I said, you need to keep these in your purse. Vending machine money, small money, important. Muy importante. ¿Verdad? Understand? Okay. So, end of month church meeting and bookkeeping. I curse it. I understand. When I was on the church board, we would normally meet Monday evenings, about 7 o'clock. And it'd go for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes, Monday evenings. Hello, Verna. Thank you for coming. Thank you for like number 12. So, a fire making device, a lighter, matches. I don't think it'd be flint and steel. Like, let's strike a flint. Fire it up. Yeah, I watched one of Scott's SD Mountain Man's fired up. So I watched Chuck. He did a video where he was cooking he doctored up some hot dogs and, wrapped them in bacon and, did some voodoo to them. I watched that video yesterday. Hello, Myra. Buying space. Thank you for coming. And an analog watch. Oop, don't want to use the wrong finger. I don't want to use the wrong finger. Analog watch. A metal pen, or write in the rain, something that you can write with, and or a pencil, and a notepad, like an all-weather notepad. Oops. All-weather notepad. Of course, your smartphone. Yeah, I worked with my students trying to teach them how to tell time on a analog watch. They just, I made progress with them, but it was just slow going. We're talking 13, 14-year-old kids, and they can't tell time on an analog watch. Constantly asking what time is it, because I had two analog, had like like that back there. I had a couple of those on either end of my room, and they couldn't tell time with them. Inappropriate content warnings. What am I doing? I don't know. You know, I don't wear MAGA hats. Hillbilly Josh, how you doing? Yeah. Yep. No education. No training. Yep. Thank you for like number 14, Hillbilly Josh Loftus. Inappropriate content is prepping. Yes. Yep. Yeah. I'm gonna do a coffee talk news this coming week. It's been a while, and it'll be under 5 minutes. But I'm gonna talk about those rulings that the Supreme Court's been dishing out. The left is going nuts. They're going nuts. And this birthright citizenship, that took a hit. That took a hit. Yeah, small sling bag. Women. Did you know that the original users of purses, the original people that carried a purse were men? Purses were developed like a sling pack, you know, or sling. The originally the old school original purses were for men. They would refer to a man's purse. Don't know what's going on. Maybe somebody's making a delivery outside. The dogs. No education, no experience, and no training. Yes. Men used them for riding horseback. High heels, yeah. I used to watch MASH when I was a kid, and Klinger always dressed like a woman, and they talked about one of the Rough Riders rode up San Juan Hill side saddle. Was a cross-dresser. One of the things I've been talking about, the 14th Amendment was created to give citizenship to the former slaves. It was specifically for the slaves. And then a long time later, they had to do a modification to give citizenship to the Native Americans, the Indians, because they weren't citizens. You know. And so the 14th Amendment did not include the Native Americans or anybody else. It was basically for and they didn't have problems because they weren't having problems because they didn't have a lot of illegals coming. They had immigrants, but they were mainly immigrants from Europe or immigrants from Asia. You know, they were immigrants that came over and they were identified, and they wound up having to they would go and they would study, and that they'd have, you know, to get admissions to get their citizenship, you know. And it wasn't a big deal, you know. And these people, when they came in, they basically supported themselves. They got jobs. They tended to have a little bit of education, or they had a trade, and they weren't a burden on society. And if they did get help, it'd be from the church. But now, in the last 40, 50 years, and more, we've had them come from south of the border. Uneducated, don't want to speak the language, don't want to learn the language. A lot of them, the men will come over and they'll work, and then they send money back to Mexico or wherever they're from, send them money out. And women, they have kids, you know, they're pregnant, or they get pregnant, they have kids, and oh, well, they're citizens, you know, anchor babies. Well, bull, shit. And you've got a 6-3 on the board. You got a 6-3 on the Supreme Court. Yeah, the Chinese helped build the railroads. That's true. You know, I mean, if you look at your Asian population, they tend to be very intelligent. They tend to be very, you know, they have a good basic education. They're literate. They're respectful. Now, you know, there are criminal elements. You know, there are criminal elements, like they talk about the Chinese Hongs. They talk about the triads. You know, they talk about the Yashuga. Anyway, they got their own mafias, you know. But this is a small percentage of their, very small percentage of their population, you know. And they're not the problem. You know, they're not the problem. And they tend to stick. They tend to, you know, they have their communities and such, and they get along just fine. Hello, Yoda, my friend. Yoda. You know, my wife doesn't. You know, I've talked to my wife's the baby of her family. She's the baby of 10. And way back when I lived further south, and both of my wife's parents were alive, you know, we communicated and such. And my wife's father got his citizenship after he served in the military. He served in the U.S. military, was in the Army, and he served for several years. And he got his citizenship. You know. So I told her, you know, he was a Mexican national, you know, before, you know, he had his citizenship. No, he wasn't. You know, she was all offended, everything, like I was insulting him. I said, I'm not, you know, insulting him or anything, heck, you know. It's just the, you know, the way it is. She just didn't like the, oh, thank you, Dave. I know it was a good video. I think it was a pretty good video. Pockets used to be separate from clothing. There were 2 pocket pouches on an apron style tie. It was worn under the skirt of dresses. Yeah. Yeah, right. We were joking, you know, my kid was joking, you know. She went one time, this is years ago. She went one time to go get her driver's license renewed, and she was having some difficulty. And it was a black woman, you know, that was behind the counter. And there were other Hispanics there, and a couple of them were speaking Spanish. And she's looking around, and she tells the lady, I'm not a wetback. I'm not wetback. And I just laughed my head off. I was like, hey. And the woman didn't say anything to her to insinuate that, but she wants you to know she's a citizen. She's not a, you know, She's not from south of the border. Melania, well, she actually went through to get her citizenship. She's actually been through, and she took the oath. She took the oath, and she went through all that stuff 20 years ago. You know, I think she's originally from Slovenia. Very intelligent lady. She speaks like 5 languages. You know, very intelligent lady. And but she was originally she was from Europe. Used to be a model, I believe. Came over. She was a model. And her parents, they immigrated, brought them over, and they have their citizenship papers now. And the mother passed. Her mother passed away. The father still. You see pictures of them. The older gentleman, a little bit heavy set. That's the grandfather. He spends a lot of time with his grandson. You know, they're very close, and they're always fairly close. Mom of 4 boys, how are you doing, Rachel? I'm so sorry about what happened with your 4-year-old. That's horrible. We were talking. I said, my little girl was accident prone when she was a kid. Had to take her to the emergency room several times. Thought she cracked her skull. One time, as a very, very small child, swallowed a little chain that was around her neck. Very thin chain. And don't worry, she'll poop it out. I was like, don't worry about it, Okay. Matthew Perry, may rest in peace. So going through it one more time, the topic for tonight is things you carry on you, and pockets and such, things you carry on you. And I came up with 10 snacks, bag of peanuts, protein bar, Cliff bar or something, water bottle, like a half liter or water, a cutting tool, like a folding knife, multi-tool. A lot of times you can basically get one with a little scabbard. You wear it on your belt. Fire making device would be like a pack of matches or a lighter, and cash and an ID, like your wallet. An analog watch, something good to have. A metal pen or a wooden pencil with notepad, like Write in the Rain. I keep one of those in my bag, and I actually keep it in a little Ziploc, folded over with the Write in the Rain pen in it. Smartphone. Uncle Al said paraquat, and Myra said Bitcoin. Oh, good Lord, Bitcoin. Right. Okay. Elon Musk here. Pocket space blanket or a little plastic poncho or both. 20 foot of paracord. That's 10, 12 items. Who carries a pocket watch? 100 in cash, yeah, is always on me. Small bills during a hurricane. Credit cards don't work. That's true. True. When my sons were small, they were half billy goat. We had several trips to the ER for consumption of non-edibles. Yep. That happens. How big are your pockets? Well, some people like wearing like cargo pants or something, and they got like side pockets. You know, they got like a bunch of pockets, like what the military wears. You know, the old style what the military wears. Um, or a fanny pack. You can have a fanny pack on, or a fanny pack, and you can have different stuff in your fanny pack. Cash is king. Yep, that's right. They get into everything. Yeah, I guess you could carry one. Paper clip, bubble gum, and a rubber band in case you get in a MacGyver situation. Oh, please. Yeah, okay. MacGyver. Richard Dean Anderson. I preferred him in Stargate. SG-1. 10 seasons of that. And then he made some appearances on the other Stargate Atlantis, and then the one Stargate Universe was only like, what, 2 seasons? And that one was not, I don't know. He had a couple of cameos in that one. And I did a mail call, and the mail call was a emergency stove. Comes with 24 fuel tabs, and then I always put extra fuel tab squared away. I prefer Xena Princess Warrior. Okay. Swiss Army knife especially. Yeah. Multi-tool or Swiss Army knife. Like those Boy Scout knives, which are basically Swiss Army knives by a different name. They're like little multi-tool knives. Usually they'd have a can opener, bottle opener function to them, maybe a corkscrew, a blade on them. Paracord, 20 foot of paracord. Yep. My wife has been depleting my paracord lately. I've been giving her paracord, and she's been using it for various things. It is what it is, as far as that goes. Well, if one mail call is good, 2 mail calls are better. Another mail call. Pull out the folding knife again. He's doing another mail call. Yep, doing another mail call. Mail call. Oh, it's another one. You know what's funny is I ordered these at the same time and they came in separately. I'm gearing up for another giveaway. I'll be doing a 2,000 subscriber giveaway when I hit 2,000. And I'm making sure I have all the little knickknacks and doodads that I would give away. Working on it. Sorry, trying to get stuff in the trash can underneath there. But these are usually giveaways, and then I'll give out some sterno with it, an extra set of fuel tabs, my giveaway stuff for my first, and then I'll put a nice, a first aid kit in it. Yeah, wrap duct tape around a Bic lighter. Yep, that sounds good, Uncle Al. It's an unenveloping, okay, unenveloping envelope, an unenveloping. Okay, that's just like, nowadays they call skipping school or truancy, they call it eloping. Eloping. That's the term they use now. Used to be when you say you were gay, you were saying you were happy. Used to be the term faggot was a put another faggot on the fire, a log. They call them faggots. Burning log, faggot. Now they have a different meaning. Oops. YouTube might want to put out another warning. My content is inappropriate. I'm going over vocabulary terms that have been changing. Part of being a teacher. So, it's Saturday. We're in summer. My 4th week of summer vacation, basically my first month of summer vacation, is coming to an end. And this next week starts week number 5. And then I'll be off for about 8.5 weeks. Go back in the middle of a week, Go back in the middle of week 9. So, or somewhere thereabouts. Maybe, yeah, somewhere thereabouts. Oldest son ate the mushrooms. God help you. Yeah. I don't know. So, I've got another video loaded up, but I'm going to save it for a few days. It's on private, and I basically need to put the description in it, shout out some channels, and then I'll release it. Yeah. Things happen. Some of my fondest memories of my father were things happening to him. He had all sorts of little episodes of stuff. We were going hunting one time, and he had a frozen drink. Well, he didn't know it was frozen, but he had a frozen drink between his legs, and he popped the top on it, and that thing started spewing out. It got all over his crotch, and we were driving down the road, and he says, "I'm in misery, I'm in misery." He used to always say something to him. He says, "I'm in misery." He's old school redneck, from back in the days. He was born, he grew up at transition time between horses and cars. God almighty. 9 watching and 16 likes. Oh, good Lord. Your brother-in-law checked a gasoline can with a lighter. God. I was about to insult him and say, I bet she's a Democrat. God almighty. That's crazy. Well, God, that's God almighty. Okay. So this next week, one of the things I'm gonna do. Good man. It's a good man then. One of the things I'm gonna do this next week is I'm gonna start working on my third menu number 3 from my Case A, my MREs. I'm gonna start working on that. Try to get that one out. Right. They don't need them for vaping. God almighty. Don't get me started on that. They got the kids doing that at school. And they put them at DAP when they get caught. And they get caught a lot. You know, we had like 20 some odd kids at DAP from vaping at one time. You get people who do those, and then you get the THC vape. And it's illegal, and you can't sell them to minors, and the minors get them, and they bring them to school, and in the bathroom, they're out there, and they're selling hits on their vape, or they're selling vapes for like $1 a hit, you know. You get a lot of you got to get a lot of hits off of one vape, and they're selling them for $1. That was the going rate at, you know, $1 per hit on a vape, you know. Yep. I was visiting a friend. He plucked and ate a philodendron leaf from her potted plant. He loved veggies and thought he could eat anything green. God almighty. Okay. Well, it happens. God bless him. That which does not kill you makes you stronger. That is a true statement. So if you haven't had the opportunity to, go over, view, leave a like and a comment on my 100 subscriber giveaway video. And if you are not subscribed to my second channel, please do so. If I see you've got a second channel and I'm not subscribed to it, I will return the favor. And same thing here. Again, I'm on the quest. Like, you know, my friend Dave or Yoda, whatever he's going by it, this incarnation, he's on the quest. Well, I'm going to be over 100. Well, he's over 13,000 right now. And a few months ago, he was at around 2,000, which is basically where I'm approaching. And I was fairly close to him at that time. Now he's blown up, and I'm still trying to get to 2,000. But my goal is, hopefully by the end of summer, to hit that 2,000. When I do, there will be a 2,000 subscribe giveaway. So if you want to be in the drawing, please leave a like and a supportive comment on each of the last 5 videos I will have released. Now, I am releasing a few videos. It's my main channel, and I'm trying to, every week, I'm trying to release 1 or 2 videos a week. So you got a little ways to go before I hit that 2,000. Now on the 100, I can't understand that I didn't have more than 6 people who qualified for or 6 channels who qualified for the 100 subscriber giveaway. I've only released on my backup channel a total of 6 videos. And during that month that I was working, I released exclusively on my backup channel. I released 3 videos during that month. 3. I already had 3 out. And you know, nice box. I'm glad Enrique is the winner. Very nice box. He deserves it. He's been involved on the other, you know, for several of the others, you know, and didn't win. But then there were, you know, more people involved. More people involved. And you know, it is what it is, but these are nice boxes. I don't understand. Take care, Uncle Al. Appreciate you coming by. 8 in the house, 15 likes. So some very good people have come in this evening. Going through, let me know if I missed somebody. KP Heathen, Die Bullfrog 79, Enrique Trevino, Mr. Whistle, Food Forest Permaculture, Idaho Garden Girl, Melinda Elliott, Kayla Boo, Little Lone Prepper, Part-Time Planning, Vase Place, Buying Space, Hillbilly Josh Loftus, Yoda's Blessed Life, and mom of 4 boys. And here we have pre-retirement days coming in. And Mike Crush reviews. Mike, if you put out any new content, I had not checked. I need to. Mike is my go-to person for reviews, food reviews. He's my #1 go-to person for food reviews, and I do look at other reviews, other stuff that people put out, but he's my go-to person. Filming a Canadian breakfast IMP in the morning, wonderful, wonderful. Peter is in the house, part-time planning. Yeah, I'm going to start later in the week. The next few days, I'm going to work on the menu number 3, the U.S. Warnack Company menu number 3. I'm going to start working on a review on that one. I'm going to work my way through box A, and then I'm going to work my way through box B. It may take me a while to get there, but I'll get there. Yeah, these are all good people. They're all good channels. And if you're not friends with them, I would encourage you to reach out to them, and they will do the same thing to you. They'll reach out. They'll reach back. 10 in the house and 17 likes. Not Your Flipping Business. Myra's other channel. And she was in the drawing. And the winner was the Mansplaining Channel. Mansplaining Channel? Well, Dad's advice for you. Ricky's second channel. I was jokingly referring to it as the Mansplaining Channel. You know, having a good laugh. Baked beans for breakfast. Need to put that to the soundtrack of Blazing Saddles. Oof. Hit the wrong button, saw something I don't want to see. Oof. Well, 20 likes. 20. Wonderful. Joined a dating site for people my age. It's called Carbon Dating. Good one. Good one. Good one. Good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Carbon dating. Okay. Sounds good. Well, we got to an hour, just about. And I will plan on being back tomorrow. I asked guy for his number, and he said 145 over 90. Okay. That's another good one. 145 over 90. That's about what my blood pressure was Last time I went, they increased my blood pressure medication. Okay. Anyway, I will be hopefully back tomorrow for another edition of Coffee Talk at 7 p.m. And be working on trying to do some yard work if it's not raining tomorrow. Got to go cook supper. Well, it's not good, especially when you're taking blood pressure medication. Not bad, but it's not good, Enrique. Anyway, watch that video, Enrique. It's like, oh, I don't remember. It's like 18 minutes. It was a long one. You know, putting all that stuff together, it was a long one. But please watch that. And 90 over 50, that's dangerously low, I would think. My daughter had blood pressure somewhere close to that, and they put her in the hospital. She was in the hospital a few years ago, low blood pressure. She had fainted. Anyway, so everybody, when you wake up in the morning, thank God for the day. You don't know how much time you have. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Take your medication regularly, and drink your coffee. Say your morning prayers, the Lord's Prayer. Jesus gave us that prayer. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Respect those, respect everybody. Lead by example. Remember, the Scout motto is be prepared. And everybody, have a blessed day. And Enrique, I'll get that out to you Monday, hopefully Tuesday at the latest. And you should have it before the end of the week. It's a nice box. You'll enjoy it. And I look forward to hearing from you. Text me your phone number or email me your phone number and we'll text. Thank God for weekends and thank God for summer vacation. I'm enjoying it. It was a good one. I appreciate it and I enjoyed it. Thank you. Bye-bye.